Welcome back to the Anchored with Purpose podcast. I'm so excited for you to get to hear from our guest today. Her name is Lindsay Paulson, and she's the CEO of LP Consulting and the podcast host of Mess to Mission. She's a wife and mom. She's got 3 littles, and let me tell you what she loves is helping faith-filled, high-capacity women simplify their homes, systems, and businesses so they can operate in peace and confidence. I've had the chance to chat with Linds on her podcast, and let me tell you, she is super down to earth, but she knows her stuff. She takes what she learned in the corporate world and helps to implement systems in her, not just her own business, but the businesses of others too. So I can't wait for you to meet my new friend Linds, and let's dive in. Well, hey, Linds, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited about this. So first of all, I feel like every time you and I talk, it is snowing here. So we are definitely going to need to plan a conversation for like July or something and have sunny weather for both of us.
Yes, or like both be at the beach and schedule from like a different location. That's the goal for 2026.
Yes, I love that. 2026, we are doing this at the beach. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. Well, for anyone who hasn't met you yet, can you share a little bit about yourself and the work that you do helping women bring their businesses to life?
Absolutely. So, my name is Lindsay Paulson, and I am a woman owned business and I own LP Consulting. So, basically, what I love, love, love more than anything is to help high capacity women who are faith filled just set up their systems in their business. So, I like to help entrepreneurs who might not be tech savvy or might not know how to start creating the backbone or foundation. So, when they can grow and scale, they don't have that information readily available. So, I always joke to say that you just don't know what you don't know. So diving into entrepreneurship, nobody really gives you a roadmap. And a lot of women are just killing it at being a women owned business and really making sure that when they're ready to go to the next level, they can have their systems and processes and automations set up and ready to go. So that is the passion that I have found a lot in my local community. And now I'm currently kind of pivoting into the online space.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Especially, when you think about some of the women owned businesses that are out there, women are starting these businesses because they're passionate about the thing, right? They might not
Yes.
have any business experience. And thankfully, you've got some of that, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So, your podcast is called Mess to Mission, which I love. And you and I have talked about my own Mess to Mission journey and like how God has called us both in different places. So now can you share your Mess to Mission story, what your pivot looked like and kind of how it shaped the work that you do now?
Absolutely. So, short story long or long story short, however you want to view it. I worked for probably 12 plus years for Marriott International. So, I opened hotel chains. I absolutely loved being in the hotel space, and I learned a ton from really great mentors in that business. Thought that that was going to be like my corporate career forever. I was going to grow and grow and grow. When I got to the top, and then enters motherhood. So, traveling for opening hotels is not ideal, as well as hotels don't close. So, I kind of hit my intersection in my first pivot whenever I was having children, growing my family, and getting calls at 3 a.m. that somebody's stuck in the elevator or something had happened late at night. There was an unruly guest. People love to have cocktails in a hotel lobby. Like I've had everything from a shooting on property that it resulted in a death to this man is yelling at me because we don't have the appropriate bath mats in his room. So it was a really wide scale of 2 a.m., what I like to call crash out hour, which you just didn't know what you were doing. Because you're not on property, you have an hourly staff associate on property. And so that was kind of my first time where I just said, this is really not sustainable, especially if you have a 6 month old or,
Right.
somebody who is in your house that doesn't sleep through the night, literally anyone that doesn't sleep through the night. The last thing that you really care about at 3 a.m. is something that just doesn't feel important to you in that moment. So fast forward a little bit, it did open my last and final hotel, and my husband works for the fire department. And there was actually a fireman who owned a construction company, and he said, "Hey, we're hiring. It's a normal 9 to 5, Monday through Friday job. Would you be interested?" And I said yes. And so I was really able to grow and scale that from our 3-person team to a 22-person team. And that is where I kind of found my aha moment was I love setting up systems and operations for smaller businesses and watching them be able to grow and scale and learn all the things and kind of just get them organized and set up for success. There's a lot of soul searching in the background, I will say, about my own mess to mission story. So I talk about a lot on my podcast. We've had 6 miscarriages, which were emotional roller coasters that I was also navigating. And it took a long time and a long journey, really, through therapy as well as just my faith and kind of saying, what am I called to do? What am I supposed to be doing on this journey? We wanted more kids. We were it sounds really morbid, but like I had a miscarriage on Valentine's Day. I had a miscarriage on Thanksgiving. So all of these holidays were like increasingly ruined as
Yes.
we continued this journey. And so it kind of just felt like I had lost my way as a mother. Our family had lost its ability to grow. And I was just kind of really feeling stuck in navigating not one loss, not two loss, but this over and over loss experience and journey that we were on. And basically, as I continued to grow and scale for this construction company, it was my husband who said, why don't you do this for somebody else? Why don't you do this for yourself? And we actually own and run a business together. So we do have a moving company together. And then I do operations consulting now for lots of different businesses in my local community, and my heart and soul is really in the nonprofit world. And it wasn't until I actually was talking to a business coach and she said, "Yes, you love taking a mess and turning it into a mission." And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm staying with that forever, like done, branded, sold,
Love
because
it.
I wanted to make sense of the loss. I wanted to make sense of my purpose. I wanted to make sense of navigating women who are having a hard time, who have kids, and building businesses that were built around their life, not them having to pivot their life and build their life around their business.
That's so good. So first, when I think there's so many things that you said that are like, wow, I can definitely see like God all throughout this journey, but then I can relate as I'm thinking about you getting those calls at 2, 3 in the morning. I'm remembering those retail days when I would get those
Mhm.
calls in the middle of the night and just how freeing it felt the first night that I could sleep with my phone off. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible what that does for your body, for your psyche, just for your anxiety in general. Like not having to answer to these emergencies in the middle of the night. I mean, how incredible is that? But then I also see, like, wow, what a difference then for you. You were able to grow your family in a healthy way after you had gotten rid of all of this stress and all of this unknown.
Yes. And it wasn't even like the late nights were always even an emergency, which is what cracks me up is sometimes it would just be the most trivial thing. And I just kind of knew in my heart at that moment, like, this is not where I want to be. I don't want to be sitting at my dinner table with my work laptop out trying to move rooms around so everybody can check in and do a perfect sell. And if you're in the hotel industry, like the goal is to always sell the perfect amount of rooms and it's a lot of strategy behind it, and it's too long for a story to dive in that today, but it really does drain you, and it drains your heart, and then adding loss on top of that, but you're expected to go to all of these places with a smile on your face and
Mm,
make it the most customer service-based experience that you can when you're basically I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like I would
yes.
come off of having to have a surgery or a DNC, and then I was expected to roll into a business and smile and greet X, Y, and Z and say, "Hey, I would love to have you here as a guest, and here's your luxury towels, and do you need an extra robe?" And my heart just it wasn't there was a push and a pull there that didn't make
Right,
sense.
right. Definitely. And then I think about too, just how, first of all, it like you lit up when you started talking about how you helped this business to grow from a staff of 3 to 22. And then you realized that's where you're being called to do to help other people in business. And I love that your sweet spot is nonprofits because that really is that mission focus for you.
Yes, I absolutely love it. So it really started with working with the St. Jude Dream Home. The construction industry partnered with the St. Jude Dream Home, and that will just bring you to your feet.
Oh,
Watching kids battle that situation and then being able to be a part of the largest fundraiser, and they decorate the home with the art from the kids that attend St. Jude. So it's
man.
really very, very rewarding. And then I was able to actually use that company as well. We helped to design the first human trafficking home in Kentucky called Redeeming Hope for, sadly, it's women under the age of 18. So it's actually women and children who have been rescued from human trafficking across state lines. And this is a rehabilitation home for
Wow.
them to grow and find therapy and just have a safe space where they can be reintroduced into the world after kind of dealing with that trauma. So everything really went full circle as far as trying to just help as many nonprofits that I could, but also putting back some goodness into the world.
Yes. Well, that's amazing. Now, Linz, we know that as we head into the new year, a lot of women are starting to feel like a stirring, maybe like a little fire for something new. So, if there's a woman out there that feels that God led dream like rising up in her heart, where do you usually encourage her to begin?
I always encourage people to begin with what brings you joy. So, like, what do you light up about when you talk about? Like, well, you and I have both kind of come out on the other side of the corporate trauma, we'll call it,
Yes.
and then found something that brings us passion. But, like, what lights you up? Like, I have a client who she lights up whenever she's teaching, but she knows that teaching full time isn't going to be something that's in her wheelhouse currently with her family structure. So she actually started a business creating little teaching boxes that she sells to homeschool programs. And that's how she makes primarily her revenue now. So what can you do that you can think outside of the box but also is going to bring you joy and is going to allow you to build into your current season? It doesn't have to stay like that forever. Like you said, there's a lot of pivots, a lot of turns, and it's okay to pivot. But what brings you joy? Is it teaching? Is it educating? Is it kid related? What talents or gifts do you have? There's so many different ways to generate revenue, and you don't have to have this big luxurious business behind it to just start. And I think that's what holds a lot of people back is the fear of not knowing where to start or feeling like they need to have X, Y, and Z completed before they can start. But really, you don't really need all of the fancy gizmos and gadgets, I can promise you.
Just start is what I'm hearing from you. Like, just start. Now, you're the queen of systems and simplifying all of those behind the scenes little things that come up. So, tell us why you believe systems are so foundational, especially in those early days of building a business. And what's one simple system that a brand new entrepreneur could put into place today?
So I will get on my soapbox for a minute about systems. Setting it up now is going to save you from the headache later. And what I mean by that is when you grow and scale, I often talk about my AID method, ADE. So automating, delegating, and then elevating. You can't delegate to someone a task that you don't have outlined yourself. So I can't say, Melissa, please go into my project management software and produce my podcast. Okay, that's an open statement. Like, what am I using? Where do you post? Do you do clips? What do you need from me? All of that kind of needs to be outlined as if you're telling a kindergartner and you're going to hand it over to them and say, I need you to go from step A to Z and complete this task. All of those things also with hiring, there's a lot of things that you don't want to assume people know about your business, so it's just easier to outline it. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle when they get in the growing and scaling phases. They want to hire an assistant or a VA or an online business manager, but they don't have anything created for that individual to do. And they're often like, it's just easier to do it myself. Well, that's because you don't have the system to hand over to them for them to be set up for success. And I absolutely love the free version of ClickUp. So ClickUp is a project management tool. They have a free version that has all of the bells and whistles, but a very big underutilized tool is just your Google Workspace. getting into Gmail. Now you can replace Zoom with Google Meet. You can book through Google Calendar so you don't have to pay a Calendly fee. You can have AI transcribe your meetings for you. All of that is included with Google now. It's just utilizing those features to set up your business for success and not getting kind of shiny object syndrome and thinking, I need to do
Yes.
this and this and this and this and this. Keeping it simplified can just take that can help you create your system the best as anything can.
I love that you said, like, don't do the shiny object syndrome too, because I think sometimes, we might be hesitant to start because we don't know where to start. But then also we think, well, I hear this podcaster telling me that this tool works. And I heard this marketing expert say to get this tool. And oh, should I get this one? I mean, and I remember going through all of that and it's so overwhelming. And that right there
Yes.
that's analysis paralysis right there. Like, oh, okay, well, now I don't know what to do. But I love that you talked about you have to have these systems in place. So that way, if you have to give it to somebody, which that's the ultimate goal if we're growing and scaling, that you can delegate and say, okay, produce my podcast. This is all here in project management. Here is the SOP for it. We'll walk through it together. And then you can have the various approvals set up within the project management. And then you can go back and check, give feedback. I mean, rather than saying, oh, I guess I'll just produce it myself. And my VA is just twiddling her thumbs because I'm just doing it all myself anyway.
Yes. Well, and I think too that, as you're diving into all of these systems in rediscovering what tools worked best for you. So, like I say all the time, when you're getting these things up, setting things up, you can have free tools. Like that's
Yeah.
not, I don't know who said we needed the 99 a month dollar tool, but they have fib to you. I often talk about inside of Google, there's a free tool called Boomerang, and it's a follow-up reminder. So if I send my email to Melissa, Melissa doesn't respond in so many days, it'll say, "Hey, Linds, Melissa didn't respond to this. Do you need to circle back with her?" There's so many free tools that you can implement in your actual business that can do a lot of those VA tasks for you, can help discern or transcribe like AI. It's just a matter of really knowing or having somebody guide you in those processes so that way you can set it up what works best for your brain and what is actually going to move the needle for your industry.
Yes. Oh my gosh. What works best for your brain is key there because what works for some of our favorite marketing experts might not be best for our particular brains. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a great point too. Like we don't have to have HubSpot, which is crazy expensive and also is like, I mean, it's pretty complicated. There are some
Yes,
systems out there that are a little too complicated for what we need at this point too. So
absolutely.
let's talk a little bit about faith in business because you mentioned that faith plays a role in your business and kind of led you on this journey. So, how does your walk with God influence the way you help women design and operate their businesses?
I think first and foremost, it's just finding out what's important to them. So I have always been a faith and family first type person. And I find that women also don't know or have a hard time identifying what brings them joy or what their actual dreams are. So sometimes it's when they're starting a business, it's even having that conversation with God or giving that prayer or kind of surrendering to maybe something that you already know that He's calling you to do that you've had on your heart, but you've had that little bit of resistance with. But having just those open and honest conversations of what is your goal? What is your end game here? Is your end game to have a big team? Some people don't want a big team. What is your end game for growing, scaling, producing, or is this a part time gig? Are you building this? Like, I very much have my business built around youth soccer right now, and that's just the season that we're in. And youth soccer does not stop, it has no mercy, and it does not care. So, that is the season that I am currently in, but I don't want my business to ever trump my family or my faith. And I think another thing that women also find is that they have to do it all. And I'm a big proponent of community over competition. There are women mentors who would love to walk alongside you, not only in your spiritual journey, but also in your business journey, who aren't going to charge you $225,000 a year.
Right.
They are here to support you. They want to steward you in towards what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, and they have the knowledge that you're seeking finding a community that understands that because it does feel, I think the biggest thing that feels weird when you're first starting a business is putting yourself out there to friends and family. Sales
Yep.
can feel icky. Money feels like a taboo topic that you don't talk about with anyone. Like it's like, what's your pricing? And then people just panic. They're like, I don't want to charge you. I don't know what to charge you, or I don't want to feel salesy. But I say this with a hardened truth. Kroger still charges you for your groceries. Your
Yes.
electric
Oh
bill
my gosh.
still
Yes.
charges you whether you charge your friends or not. So if Aunt Sally is not the right client for you in this season, then good on Aunt Sally. And I hope that she finds alignment, but you still have to be able to afford and pay your bills. And that's not dishonoring anyone. That's just kind of finding your alignment within your business and where you are best see fit to lead or
Yes.
lead.
Oh my gosh. When you talk about how faith and family come first over the business and that you help women build their businesses around what they value. And I love all of those questions that you're asking them too, because not everybody wants the same things in business. So,
Mhm.
like, do you even want a big team? Like, what are you looking to make? What are your dreams? Because, let's just say it's somebody who is really good at making jam and they just love making jam and maybe they haven't ever thought about, like, oh gosh, I never thought I'd have a team. I just love making jam and I want to sell it to people because everybody tells me how good it is. Like, you help them through all of that and help them determine, like, how are we growing this? How much are we growing this? And, what are those big goals that you've got?
Yeah, because I think it too, as you grow and scale, obviously there's more people that are relying on you. You're taking in individuals who you're providing their income for them. So sometimes that's an added pressure that might not be the season for you. It doesn't mean that's not the season for always, but I think about even our moving company and the employees that we have there, like we provide their sole income to support their families. So, what kind of responsibility are you wanting to take on, or how can you set yourself up for success with these systems and foundations to basically simplify or grow and expand based on your own individual bandwidth?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. I want to talk a little bit more about the family stuff. And we both have experienced that burnout. We both know that being present for families are something that is super important. So, talk to us about how you create some of those rhythms that support your home life and business. Like, how do you make it work so it's around soccer season and that you're getting all the things done, being present for soccer and all of the kids, especially, when we don't know when it's going to be a school from home kind of day. Like, how do you make that happen without burning out?
So I could talk about this topic for like 7 more hours. So I'll just try to keep it like as short and sweet as humanly possible. And obviously, this does pivot with the seasons. Like I say this all the time. This pivots with the seasons, but I have a really structured routine. So I do all of admin on Monday, Friday. So I'm not doing podcasts, I'm not doing client work, I'm not doing anything Monday or Friday because that's the time that I have designated to work on my business, which is people get caught up in doing all the client work and all the client work, and that is great, but you still have to work on your business to be able to do that. And then I block out every morning until 10 a.m. So that's going to be the time that I'm going to the gym. I'm getting the kids out of the door onto the school bus. I'm doing whatever collectively I need to be doing, or writing down gratitude, or setting myself up for the intention of the day. So I'm not just scrambling and running around of the morning. I also on my podcast talk a little bit about my like the night before routine of like getting all the kids stuff lined out. The lunch boxes are all done. As much as I can set my future self up for success, I really do get to eliminate a lot of that burnout, and I'd feel less like a chicken with my head cut off running around to do all of the things. But we do travel a lot for youth sports. So I have a slider that goes over my steering wheel that I can work in the car if I have a season. I have a heated lunchbox that I can plug into the car so I can eat healthy, nourishing foods when traveling instead of going through and granted, there's nothing wrong with a good fast food meal. That's not what I'm saying. But like, I would prefer to nourish my body with something that's going to fuel me. And so I have a heated lunchbox. So I've really strived hard to find these adaptations that I can use in this season to fuel my heart, my soul, my brain. I'm a really big into my Kindle. So having that readily available in case I can't get to a library, but having these little adaptations that support my home life and my business, and also to kind of eliminate burnout. I'm really big into like what I call the play and pray. If I stop playing, whether that be with my kids or going to the gym or doing pottery or something like that, I'm not going to enjoy doing work or
Yes.
tasks because I'm not refueling myself. So going back to the AID method, the ADE, automating as much as I possibly can, delegating what I can that are not my gifts. I don't love bookkeeping. If you're a numbers
Bro.
person, good on you. Love you. Mom, love you. I am not. My mom's is an accountant. Like, absolutely not. Not my gift. I don't want to do it. So, how can I set myself up for success? So, I'm really just taking on what fuels me and makes
Yes.
me the best version of me.
Thank you for giving that permission to all of the women listening too, because in the beginning, sometimes we have to do all of the things to get it all set up, right? But
Yeah.
once those systems are in place, like you've already shared with us, then you can delegate to people like that lights them up, like that's their gifting because they're going to do a way better job than you would because that's their gifting, what they love to do. But then that allows you to do the things that you love to do.
Yes. And so that's what I want to pour into myself and then be that happy go lucky, fun mom, or be able to pour into my husband and his needs or my kids and their needs. So really just trying to always give myself just that joy back into what I'm doing in the day to day.
Gosh, this is, I feel like we could talk about this whole topic forever because I love
Yes.
that too. I mean, like when you're talking about time blocking, yes, like building those rhythms too, where it's on Mondays and Fridays, I do admin. It's no question in your mind what you're going to be doing that day. You know, you're going to be working on your business. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're working in your business. And by building out those rhythms for yourself, your body then gets used to it too. And it takes out, that decision fatigue where we know that we make enough decisions in a single
Yeah.
day. But I love that method. And I think that's a great key takeaway for our ladies who are thinking about starting a business or maybe who have already started a new business by just create that rhythm. On Monday, I work on my business. On Tuesday, I work on marketing. On Wednesday, I work on follow, like whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I love that.
And
I
there's
love
no
that.
one size fits all. So like my
No.
Monday, Friday is not could not be comparable to what you need to do on Monday, Friday.
Right.
Like my Sunday is when I try to do the reset of like the groceries, the house, blah, 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 blah. Like whatever schedule works best for you, that's what you can focus on pouring into and grow it however you want. I
Yeah.
mean, you're an adult. I tell myself that all the time when I look in the mirror. I'm like, you're an adult. You can do this. You can make these choices now, and no one can tell you otherwise.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love it. So, yes, we're adults. No one has to tell us what to do. We can make these decisions. Why is it so hard as an adult to ask for help? Can we talk about that for a second? Like,
Oh,
why is it
yes.
so hard to ask for help?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I think because we as women, especially with this day and age of having 24-hour access to every other woman in America,
Yeah.
we compare our day 1 to their day 50.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So I get on the interweb and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Melissa has 1.5 million followers and I should be
Unbelievable.
able to do X, Y, and Z." And it's just not realistic. And then you get on other platforms and it's people are saying crazy outlandish things like, "I made $2 million today while I was sipping my tea at lunch." And it's like just being able discernment is really,
Yeah.
I think, big on being able to discern the reality. Now AI is in the mix, and that makes it really tough to discern kind of even what's real. People are making fake AI images to
Oh
show
my
that they've
gosh.
sold more than they actually have. I think that we are just so conditioned to want to do it all. We want to have the success. We want to do all of the things for our husband or our children and keep our household running. And that intention is very genuine. However, my best gift I ever gave to myself was hiring a house cleaner
Oh,
because deep
that's amazing.
cleaning my house biweekly, first thing to go, was not on the list. I was like, this does not bring me joy. And not only that, but I was able to pour into that woman in her business, and she's doing something for me, and I'm supporting her as a small business
Yeah.
owner. So it's really a mindset shift of how we can lean on each other and really create this cross network of people who are in community together.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I love how you talked about how you mentored her in her business too, because I think having mentors in business, in life in general, is helpful, but especially in business is so good to have people mentoring us and then to turn around and pour into other, other women who are coming behind us and mentor them too.
Yes, and I always joke with her because I did help, the lady who cleans my house, I did help her start her business, but it was just like that was something she was passionate about, and she never
Yeah.
realized that that brought her joy, but also and she would totally laugh if she heard me say this, but I'm like, "Ma'am, you can't do your bookkeeping like that. That's illegal." Like, just you don't know what you don't know. You
Yes.
don't know that you have to pay this amount of payroll taxes or this amount of like just that those little tidbits, nobody gives you that roadmap. And it's so different from state to state. So finding somebody that can mentor you not only in the business side, but also kind of help you identify what your passion is amazing.
My gosh, I love that. Someone who can be in community with you and can help you with those things that you don't know. That's so good. Now, Linz, as we're wrapping up the year, what encouragement would you give the woman who's like standing right on the edge of her calling? She's in the middle of her mess to mission story right now. So she's like feeling like she wants to do it, fear's holding her back a little bit. What are you going to ask her? Like, what are you going to tell her to help her take that leap of faith?
I think my biggest piece of advice is not getting caught up in the perfection cycle. Our logo does not have to be perfect in order to move forward. Your branding colors do not have to be perfect in order to serve somebody in the best capacity that you know how. I think that we get caught up on these little nuances and it's like, well, this isn't perfect and this isn't perfect. And, I don't know how to make a pricing strategy, just really capitalize on free resources. Our state SBA, where I'm located, they'll do free business plans for you. There's always somewhere that somebody can help encourage you, but don't get caught up in just being locked down by that fear because you can make a sell and somebody somewhere is looking for the knowledge that you have. They want
Yes.
to hear from you. They want to be poured into you. They want to be stewarded by you. And if the reason that they can't be is because you're looking at the 70th shade of blue on Canva, you are doing yourself a disservice because they don't care. They don't care about your shade of blue on Canva. They want to know what you know and they want to know how you can help them.
Yes. And you're probably going to change your logo and your branding 10 times over the course of your career anyway.
Yes, and I don't even know where my logo is. Like, I think I've used it maybe once. Like, spent a time I created it. But I don't think it's on literally anything that I have. So there you go.
Yeah. And you are still serving people and making an impact without even knowing where the logo is. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, no idea.
Now, Linz, for people who are listening and they're like, yes, oh my gosh, I need to know more. I want to work with her. I want Linz to guide me through this entrepreneurial journey. Where can they find you? Where can they learn more about working with you? Tell us all of the places.
Absolutely. So my website is where you can find most information. It's www.lindspaulson.com. And I actually just added the Automation Academy on there today. So it is where you can enroll in a monthly subscription. It's $7. And it's a monthly report that comes in with all different business. Every month is a different business topic, and you're able to find automations or find business resources. So that is actually on the website. And then I hang out primarily on Instagram, which is like a little chaotic insight into my mind. So my handle is at Linds.Paulson, very simple. But then my Mess to Mission podcast is a free resource. So that is everywhere, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can download that anytime.
So good. And we will put all of those links in the show notes so that people can connect with you. Well, Linz, thank you so much. It was great getting to chat with you again. Again, next time we're doing this somewhere on a nice, warm, sunny beach rather than
I love
snowstorms
it.
and winter storms. Thank you. I can't wait to chat with you again. And thanks for pouring into this community.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
And to all of our listeners, thank you. We'll see you next time.